Well, there's no denying it. It was a hot day today. Yes, 40.3 degrees centigrade recorded at RAF Coningsby, which in old money is 104.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So a record hot day today, albeit, just get some sense of perspective, this has been a 2-day heat wave. Those of us that are of a certain age remember 1976, when we had 10 days of it being well over 30 every day, and actually about 10 weeks of sustained hot weather, very, very dry. Now, you can watch, if you want to, every other news channel out there, and they will have expert after expert lining up, despite the fact many of them just work for think tanks and maybe have the odd degree, telling you this is conclusive proof, absolutely conclusive proof, that climate change is doing all of this to us. I did try last night to point out that there is a solar flare coming towards the Earth, and I did ask the question, maybe that has got something to do with it. I don't know the answer to that, but we need to have debate around these subjects. Now, the government, of course, are all out for net zero. Boris Johnson, utterly committed to it. All of the Conservative leadership candidates, utterly committed to it. For a brief period, it looked like Kemi Badenoch was going to break that trend, but in the end, even she came into line. I've tried over the last few months to open up some big debates and questions on net zero, and I have to say, I found myself shut out of that debate even more than I was when I dared 30 years ago to question membership of the European Union. There are some very big vested interests here. But I am not for one moment suggesting that man's presence on Earth and its booming population is not having some kind of impact. It probably is. It's about extent and it's about scale. But when it comes to our country, let's just get a sense of perspective. We are outputting less than 1% of global CO2. And whilst we may well want to do the right thing, frankly, compared to what happens in India and China, we are largely irrelevant. But, and my question for you, the audience, is the government's net zero target achievable? And I say this on a day when we learn that the government's plan to install 600,000 heat pumps every year in British homes is falling slightly short. Well, when I say slightly short, it looks like we installed 60,000 over the course of the last year, just 10% of the government target. And whilst there are grants available, given that it costs 5,000, 10,000, perhaps even more pounds to put a heat pump in a home that may not work very well when it gets cold, it's perhaps no surprise. So is it a moment to rethink net zero? Not to rethink our global responsibilities. You know, I absolutely hate pollution. I can't stand plastics in the seas and all of those things. But are we going to commit economic harry-carry over eliminating CO2 whilst India and China and many others just laugh at us?